Translating says, what do you know of his connection to the Prince of Shadows?
Only that Tempus has been in the, I suppose you could call it, good graces of the thieving organization for some time, and that he does have somewhat of a bounty on him, I hear, from some rather prominent dwarves, who are very interested in hauling him in.
Yes, that certainly is true.
Were I more interested in accruing fame and positive reputation with said dwarves, I might try to haul him in myself. But I just own a parlor of gilded comforts.
I noticed you had an interesting figure in your entrance hall. This guard, I suppose, bouncer.
Are you referring to Sailing? He gestures to the south.
I says, no, but her as well. A rather skilled hired muscle for protecting a place like this, is it not?
Skilled hired muscle. And, I thought you were someone with, wizardry training. Good dwarf. I figured you would have been able to recognize it for what it is.
As I did not attempt to scrutinize too many things in here, as I was sure there were many people who might not want me to know who they are. It would seem rude. Discretions and all.
Arnaud
You
will
have not yet taken any aggressive stance towards us, so I had no reason to, well, do so to you.
Arnaud
Wish to
will
respect your boundaries.
You will most definitely lift an eyebrow at Dwohurim, and then shrug and say, he is a clay golem, special in that he, unlike practically every other clay golem in existence, has some measure of sentience within him.
I do wonder where you picked him up, but I'm sure that is a long tale.
Well, that it is.
Many other things to talk about. You see, our people of our kind have a rather sinister reputation, I'm sure you know, adventurers and all. Most people don't like doing business with us.
Arnaud chuckles and says, Little Dragon Hall thrives on traders and merchants and adventurers, so consider me in the minority.
That's good. We can be very sensible. And, well, I have the feeling you're a very competent man. Looking what you're doing here, the sort of business you have, it would be hard for you to survive here without paying money to someone or something above the line. You know what I mean. The guards don't always patrol these streets easily, and with the good help you have here, protecting this place might even be possible. But since I've heard of no trouble coming from around here, maybe there's someone you well might be paying for a bit of extra security too.
I am not being extorted, if that is what you're referring to.
Perhaps simply.
Aurelia can confirm that he's telling the truth with that statement.
Yes, I see. That is certainly good then. If we were interested in finding out about who might have hired Domino to kill through the wall, and we have indications that it's someone within this community, Little Dragon Hall, who might we talk to for such information?
Well,
who might be willing to do business with us, so to speak.
Considering how tavern reputations get around, most of you have already selected the Harlequin's Flask, which means I am sure you, being adventurers, probably acquainted yourselves with Blue Eyes, as he is colloquially called.
Grim raises an eyebrow and says, "You have no love for this man?"
Well, he is in the enemy tavern, and according to the traditions of Little Dragon Hall, I must disapprove of him as a result.
You have no personal dealings with him?
Nod shakes his head. No. He does not venture into the parlor of gilded comforts, and I do not venture into the Harlequin's flask.
What do you know of his services? Are they reliable?
Arnold shrugs. I cannot say. I have not partaken in them.
And yet he's the person you would send us towards.
That is correct. If only because, if you're looking for information, he's the only advertised information broker I can think of.
Well, actually, looking at him and saying, I had hoped you would want to help our investigation a little more than you've indicated.
Arnaud, shrugs. I cannot invent well, I could fabricate information, but I don't think that would actually assist your investigation. Your primary concern, I imagine, is how will you pay the information broker Blue Eyes, and that is a fair concern. My advice does not help that much if you cannot actually lubricate the wheels of commerce that the individual rapscallion relies upon. If I were to say, assist in your investigative endeavors by giving you the monetary assets required to pry information out of the silver-tongued creature, perhaps you would consider me to be of sufficient assistance to the cause.
What sort of prices would he take for information? It can't be that much. Can it?
Nord shrugs. I don't know. I've, as I said, not queried myself, though I have had a number of patrons come in, and among things at the table that they gripe about, that his extortion rates. From what I've heard, he supposedly charges, well, for adventurers it tends to be a special thing where they ask a question and then he determines the value of the information from there. Lesser folks, like merchants and travelers, they just get a flat rate of maybe several gold pieces, 10, maybe 20 per question. But I, considering your situation and the fact that I too would like to end any possible unrest within my neighborhood and cause as little impact to my customers as possible, am willing to front 600 gold pieces so that you can properly acquire the information you need to bring an end to this torrid affair.
I'm not just, an interesting offer. Would you mind if I were to speak it over with my companions? See if this is an acceptable approach to them. You sort of eyes the Paladin.
Arnold says, certainly there are quite a number of quiet areas. This building does pride itself on privacy and discretion.
I'm sure we can do it right over here. This place is big enough that we could sort of whisper or so over here too.
Well, before we do that, Aurelia would actually kind of stand up and try to get in the conversation, asking a question of herself.
Oh, sure.
Kind of
She asks
making
a question of
herself.
herself. That's just socially awkward. So, Aurelia, what do you think about the situation?
Exactly. No, how to phrase this? I have heard from many sources that during the week-long months you organize a meeting between not only yourself and the barkeeps of both taverns, but other people as well. Although I have yet to find out what the point of those meetings is. I'm quite curious.
They are exclusive parties, but they're also feel-good attempts to ensure that the bad blood which exists between each tavern faction does not go too deep. It must be remembered that we are ultimately all here because we are bound by ties of Dragonhall, that Blue City has shaped us, that its imperial governor, the Mistress of Sorcery, has written upon our hearts and souls that which we cannot erase. And as such, our existence here is celebration and remembrance of our experiences in Dragonhall. As such, I make sure to organize these gatherings, partly for fun, partly for business, and in part as a community guide to ensure that wanton bloodshed does not occur. It would be bad for business. Don't consider me an altruist.
And how do you select the participants?
Well, I have my own careful vetting process that I go over with a few other prominent folks who have power and wealth. Along with money, we consider each possible entrant, discard them, or accept them. We try not to allow the same people to come multiple times in a row unless they are particularly important. Aaron Wright and Colrin Selter are natural exceptions given their positions within the community. If you're asking for an invitation, I must say that there is a rather long waiting list.
I'm sure there is. However, could we have a list, perhaps, of the past participants?
That I will not do. No. It would be an offense to the very exclusivity and discretion that I provide here in my establishment.
Even if we were to ask in a more official position, I assume.
Yes, well, even in your most official position as honorary guardsman, even if you were to escort me to the local gatehouse, I would still say no and politely wait there in the jail cell until I am freed a short time later. Aurelia, with the role that she got, is reading nothing but true from this. He would willingly comply with you and go straight to jail for it, and he's rather confident that he could get out a short time later.
I'm rather confident too.
That is very good information to have. We don't even have to fight to bring him out. Maybe to escort him to the place we want to take him to, but... Well...
One more question.
Sure.
You organize prize fighting in the Wench and Chain, yes?
I am not the mastermind behind that, but as a member of the best bar in Little Dragonhall, really better bar, that's more accurately correct, a better bar in Little Dragonhall, it is my civic responsibility to ensure such. Tempus Malleator chose the Winch and Chain, so he could partake in such delights. Unfortunately, he did not show up to the last meeting the prize fighters had.
But surely you could at least give us a list of the participants and winners of that particular activity.
He looks at you befuddled. I mean, if they bookkeep such things, well, I'll see what the locals can remember about it. Maybe try to get a list to you. We kind of have these fights multiple times a week. There's a number of weeks in a year. How far back do you want to go?
Oh, as far as you can acquire.
Right. I'll see about getting to that.
Really will nod in thanks and then turn to, I guess, walk away with the others. After asking a whole bunch of annoying questions.
The bespectacled high elf will slide the glasses off his nose finally and fold them into a pocket in a vest, and close his eyes, keep his hands folded, and wait patiently. Celine will remain glowering at Dwohurim and Leon.
Hey, Leon, come over here. I'll speak in a quiet voice, trying to stand so that Aurelia and Dion perhaps are between him and Arnold, so that his body language won't be read too easily. So they move together, trying to be quiet. So, Mr. Aurelia, what did you gather?
Oh, he is most certainly involved in some fashion or another.
I already know that much. He's offering us money to go away.
Of course he would.
What do you reckon we should do? He doesn't seem to be willing to tell us much, and he seems rather confident that he could get out of any just imprisonment.
He likely has enough connections that any official capacity that we might possess would prove useless very quickly.
And yet we did pay 200 gold pieces, I think, to have the information that he's involved. From the person that he recommends as well.
However trustworthy that information is, I do think it plausible. These meetings where he invites powerful, or rather useful people, seem rather suspicious. They are just official and innocent enough that he can say the things that he said, privacy and all that. I'd like to bet that the name we heard from Thurl de Rol is also, or was also, a participant there.
Perhaps.
I couldn't read anything from it. I have no idea if he actually known Thurl the Rol or Domino.
Oh, he definitely knew Domino, even if he said he didn't.
How much do you think we would need to make him crack?
We would have to get him to a secure location first.
Creel is secure enough.
We'd have to not only traverse this entire establishment, but of course the neighborhood and the docks.
He said he would follow us.
To a boat? I do not think so.
Out of this neighborhood.
What do you suggest you do then? Just kidnap him?
Yeah. Alternative arrest. What would you suggest? Are you swayed by his offer for work?
I do not want to take his money, no. It's just a way to get us away from here, and we can get the money in other ways.
Yeah.
If it's true that he can get out of jail as easily as he thinks he can, then
Anyone can in this city.
that's not really an option either.
So what would one from your order do faced with this problem?
Well, we would arrest him, but can't really do that.
We can.
We can certainly try. It won't lead to much.
What would you do when he's behind bars, sitting there waiting for his corruption buddies to free him?
Interrogate him.
Why would he say anything?
It depends on the interrogation methods, I would assume.
Yes.
Because otherwise we're going to dump him in the sea.
Well, otherwise his friends in the Black Fang might kill him.
If he says something, I doubt it.
If they assume that he has said something.
So he would die either way.
Yes, so we wouldn't have much
So he wouldn't need to say anything to us.
No.
Because we are less likely to kill him.
I'm not used to dealing with these situations. You know.
If we do get him onto a boat, then we could at least offer him the alternative of dropping him off somewhere. If he talks to us, then we let him go. If he does not, then, well, we'll handle that once we get there. I have some ideas.
What he says is true.
We don't need to know if it's true. We simply need to consider it useful enough to let him go. Or to not let him go. I'm not beyond lying.
Do we know when these meetings take place?
Occasionally, during the week-long months, although the most recent one has just happened recently,
Yes,
so it will be some time yet.
There will not be another week-long month for a while. You're going to be waiting. Basically, Thurl, the Everliving's apprentice/lover, will be dead before then. You're going to need this month to pass, which has really just started, and then another month to pass.
So do we want to spring actual information on him? Who we are looking for, what he knows of the Black Fang, that sort of thing?
It's not going to say much probably, but...
Accomplish anything? Is there reason not to?
It would be best if we could spring that information on him in a place that we control rather than in his domain.
Yes, and it will tip off the Black Fang if he is actually associated with him. What we know.
Oh, they already know what we're doing here, I can assure you.
Yes, but...
If you do think that we have a chance of getting him to the boat, then I would suggest that to be the option with the best possible outcome.
For that, we'll probably have to knock him out somewhere, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, I don't plan to. But...
You can look away, Geráck. The law is not our ally in this one.
Sadly, no.
Well, if they wanted the law, they wouldn't have asked us to look into it. They would have done it with guardsmen instead. Hiring adventurers to solve such a problem is a good way to say that you don't want to know how the results were obtained. Deniable assets, that sort of thing.
Does not make your actions right anyway.
What actions exactly are you talking about?
Depends on what we want to do.
We knock him out, we bring him to the boat, we torture him until he talks. I see no problem with that.
Not sure that we're going to go that far. So, I would not really agree with that.
He seems a bit high class and duty. I don't think he will spend too much time on a boat freezing.
Doubt would be that he is a coward, and that without his defenses we can simply lower him into the water, and he can pull the rope when he's ready to talk. And if he doesn't, well, then the Black Fang have one less servant. Regardless, do you think that is what we should do? Take him with us somewhere? Or we could take his money and leave. Although I'm not sure where we would go after that. He is our best lead so far.
Well, we would ask Blue Eyes for the name we got from Pearl. But I don't know how I feel about taking his money. You're basically paying us for going away and not asking questions.
Well, I mean, until we come back and ask more.
I suppose.
Again, it does look bad, doesn't it? And he could potentially track us or magically use some of the coins he had been giving us in some fashion.
He could.
If we did take his money, we should trade it on rather fast. We could take him and see where that leads. What's the worst that can happen?
If we do that, he's not gonna give us the money and he's not gonna tell us anything else in the future.
He's gonna do exactly what's in his best interest, isn't he?
The door to the south will open. Saline, if you would please, we're having a bit of trouble out in the front. Saline will nod, using the excuse to not glare at you guys, and she'll leave along with Money, and Money will close the door.
Trouble, huh? Interest peaked. If that was the red caps, that would just be something, wouldn't it?
Could go check.
We're here to kill Arno. Oh, well, I guess we'll just leave again, huh?
Looks to him, he seems to be moving around a little bit.
Yeah.
He has been standing and going between standing by the wall here, admiring one of the lustrous and somewhat erotic tapestries, and then heading to the fire, which burns a nice incense. He's currently got his hands folded behind his back. He is not looking at you.
I guess we've decided that we would like to take him in then. Yeah?
I think so.
Sure. What does Liam?
It doesn't seem like there's a bad option. There's a bad thing to it, right? The worst case, he gets to just leave after we decide that we don't really want to do anything.
So
But worst case, we abuse our authority, make enemies with everyone in Little Dragon Hall, and gain nothing.
You know,
Yes.
they're mostly bad people. in the Dragon Ball. Like, did you listen to this guy? Like, the blue is, hot.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like,
I know.
fuck that guy. He's an asshole.
Wait,
No, that's like completely wrong thing to say to ingratiate himself to us, at least, which I don't think he was trying to. He was generally trying to lead us astray. All right, well, your rolls out of 4. We're back. Snapped it again.
Arnold will look towards you folks as you approach.
I'll glance towards Geráck and say, we've spoken, and some of my compatriots would want to, as you suggested, take you in for a little bit to perhaps have a bit further questioning when we have consulted some of the notes and such. Hope that this will not be too much of a disturbance to your business. And, hopefully you should be able to return to it very soon.
Make a deceit check.
All right. That would be charisma based, yeah?
Yes, charisma based. Go ahead and roll that secretly.
I don't have a great charisma. Let's see here. It's better than my strength. Oh, damn it. Should I do another one secretly?
Yes.
Yeah? There we go.
Okay. Aurelia, Arnaud has a faint twitch at the corners of his mouth, almost suggesting slight amusement. You are the only one who can read this. Before the mask forms itself, and Arnaud says, "Why, certainly, then. I shall," he shrugs, "lead the way."
Sure. Your germ will gesture for him to go in front. Yeah.
Okay.
I suppose we'll
Aurelia
have,
will work. Goes
have
that way.
Geráck next to him.
Yep. Geráck
Well,
will-
once Dwohurim comes into hearing range, Aurelia will basically say, he knows.
Geráck will basically stick to him,
Oh, sure.
being right behind him all the time.
Once a
Arnaud
quick-
actually
Hurry,
stops walking and looks behind Geráck and says, "Really? That is most inappropriate and unnecessary." Unless you're trying to say that I am unwillingly and not cooperating at all.
Oh, you're cooperating, just making sure.
He blinks. This is my building, you know, and I'm certain adventurers are most capable of outrunning me. Even you, clad in your armor.
I do not know that. I haven't seen you run.
His lips curl upward in a smile. Very well. Thank
Not
you.
that close.
Alright. Arnold will busy walk through. You do attract some eyeballs and attention from the patrons sitting around as Arnold is walking through with all of you. Steps out here, and Arnold looks towards the gathered group and says, yes, money. If you and Edwin and Marinda, you two have been so gracious. If you would mind, please, making sure that I arrive at the correct gatehouse, that would be most appreciated. I'm sure they'll undoubtedly deliver me to the nearest one. There's one by the city walls, there's another one heading between the docks and the guild. They're not too terribly far away. Most appreciated. And then Arnold will look away as they nod, and then look down at Dwohurim and say, shall we continue?
We'll nod and lead him out of the building.
All right. Money and the two folks named will actually trail behind with your group.
Alright.
You can go ahead and transfer everyone back to the Newport map.
That's an annoying turn of events, but, so be it, I suppose.
The three individuals are following a little bit of distance behind you. Arnaud is certainly isolated within you folks, and he shows no signs of alarm.
Uh-huh.
So do we take him to the gatehouse first and just wait for the others to leave?
No, that will not happen.
Alright.
They're gonna stay there. And, well...
So we take him to the ship then, or what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna be stopped as soon as we...
Why don't you want to take him to a gatehouse?
Because he will just... leave. We can't really do anything to him there. He has the protection of all the guards who are bought and paid for. Right? The same thing if we took, anyone to the guards.
Yeah, I get your point. I'm trying to think of how I could do something, but I can't think of any good way.
Create a distraction.
Get them
And
to
run away.
Throw a smoke grenade.
Well, we still have that basilisk oil.
Just throw it
That
down.
would not help here, though. Oh no!
Haha,
I
your
need the
food is bad.
all the wine. Oh, it would be a really good way to ruin his business for a while, but people who are used to the smell of Dragonhall probably wouldn't mind too much.
Probably not, no.
Well, we don't really want to kill these people on open street,
Well, no.
We take a shortcut through an alleyway.
Then again, get him under arrest. What does the law say in Dragonhall? Do we have to take him? Is there 24 hours to get to a
The law in
judge?
Dragonhall?
Yeah,
Newport.
Do you have a background which would correlate with Newport law?
Oh.
Well, you can try to make an intelligence-based skill check, but
Those are the ones that I'm best
the
at.
DC is going to be really damn high on this one. You guys really haven't tried to review what your extent of authority is here.
Under considered in many ways, it's best not to know. You can always feign ignorance.
All right.
Well, what Dwohurim could probably see the situation playing out. Dwohurim and his group attempts to escort Arnaud north, perhaps towards one of the ships on the dock. Arnaud realizes that he's not heading towards the gatehouse, stops moving, and probably makes a grand scene in the middle of the busy active streets by calling for alarm that he's being kidnapped. Which will undoubtedly attract the attention of a lot of people, as well as guards. From there, it may very well go out of your hands.
But what does the law say about, like...
The law doesn't say that you're allowed to take him
authority?
on a ship and put him and take him out to sea.
Yeah, no.
Like, you as basically like honorary sort of guardsmen have been given the authority to investigate Thrildarol's death. Not to export out a businessman to the sea where you can torture him. What you'd be doing is definitely illegal. And if he feels if you're actually, like, if you as guardsmen are violating your civic duty that you're employed legally to do, like if you were actually guardsmen, he would be well within his rights to cry as such. What are you going to do? Abuse him out in the streets? That won't go well.
No. That's why Dragon Hall was better. We could abuse people in the streets there, and nobody would give a damn.
But yes, with the 20 there, like, Manaki, Dwohurim can logically see how the upcoming events would probably go.
That's not how we want them to go. But given that, kind of can guess, maybe there's something in his arsenal. Damn, lack of utility magic.
Lack of utility magic. Whose fault is that?
I have 2 utility spell slots prepared always, but there's just never... No,
I mean, the thing I was trying to somehow incorporate in our plans here is Aurelia does have like a sleep potion kind of thing still that was never used. That would last for like 5 minutes if
You would need to make him ingest it.
Here, have a drink.
Which, now that you've arrested him and taken him outside
exactly.
of his brothel...
It's unlikely he falls for it, and it doesn't last that long.
We'll have to
nah.
hold him down and force it down his throat.
All the while, the people he's asked to come with him to ensure that he's delivered to a gatehouse watch.
Yeah.
Well, I can disguise myself slightly. I can make myself not fall too far. I can hold the door shut, or I can levitate up and down, or send a message. I can even speak to a magic item. But that's the extent of my utility.
We take him to the Arcane College, maybe?
I don't think that's a gatehouse.
No, but...
No, you definitely be
Taking him
walking
to a
past
gatehouse,
and
that it's-
through some gatehouses in order to, like, get to the Arcane College.
Oh, god damn it.
We take him to the gatehouse, to the Arcane College, because we need to talk with him to Lord Theraptis. And then we just tell Lord Theraptis that this guy is in the Black Fang and hope that he has a way to get us to our ship.
You know what he would do? He would rub his temples and be like, "Yeah, I can't." Like,
What the fuck?
stop implicating me in all this shit. You're hurting me more than you're helping me. Jeez, maybe you just should go back to Dragon Hall. That's what he would say. Well, guess he kind of has us there. We'll have to take him to a gatehouse, I think.
Yeah, the one near the docks, I guess.
Fucking law, isn't there? Like policemen on strike or something.
There certainly are, as you, like, move out of Little Dragon Hall and begin heading down the streets, there certainly are, like, as noted, more guardsmen around even during the daytime, because if you imagine the scare with ghouls on the streets.
Or we should walk around until we find a ghoul, and then we can pretend that the ghoul killed those 3 guards.